Hello, my little friends. Welcome to episode 95 of Nintendo Unleashed. This is BlizzKick's weekly Nintendo podcast. We've got our shrunken crew. Is shrunken, would that be the right word for this? Our shrunken crew this week. It is just me and Connor. How's it going, Connor?
Pretty good.
Nice, me too. We're about to watch the Game Awards. I'm going to cave in and watch the Zelda footage, I think. We'll get to that later, but that will have already happened by the time you're listening to this. Anyway, we are BlizzKick's weekly Nintendo podcast. We go through just about everything that goes on during the week. And this week, we're going to talk a bit about Pokemon, how it's done sales-wise, talking about the potential fate of Skylanders, talking about Stardew Valley, Universal Studios parks. Finally, we got some more details on those, which I'm very excited for, although we didn't really get much more news on that. Just like, hey, this is still happening. Here's some stuff. It was mainly just cool to see all the props, but again, we'll get to that later. Anyway, like always, we like to start off by talking about what we've been playing this week. So, Connor, go ahead.
I played Pokemon Sun still. I think I've done most of the story-related stuff.
How many of the crystals do you have?
I have all the types, but for the specific Pokemon, I only have the 3 starters, the Pikachu one, the Snorlax one, and I think one.
I would say you have all the types, but those are the types are basically the ones that like indicate your story progress, right? Because those are the ones that show in your save file.
Yeah, there's a few of the type ones. I think like 3 that you just like find out on the field.
Okay.
They aren't part of any trials. Or there's one that sometimes like a trainer gives them to you. I don't really want to spoil. They're usually important trainers, not random trainers, but they're not related to the trials.
Okay, cool.
But yeah. I mean, like I beat the champion. Well, there's not really a champ. Okay.
You basically beat the game.
Yeah, I beat the game, but there's a little side quest thing after, and I finished that, and I think there's one other side quest to do that I haven't quite done. I also haven't finished the Zygarde thing, which I mentioned it briefly in my review, but there's like no way to tell which Zygarde core or cell you're missing. I have 99 out of 100, and I have no idea where it is.
Yeah, that's probably not worth looking at a video of all 100 and going through.
Yeah, so I have to like run around, like go on Cerebi or a YouTube video with all of them or something, go to every single location.
Oh god. Yeah. Hopefully hopefully that's one thing they can improve for stars, hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah.
But kind of sucks that it's that way in this game. I hate games where you cannot track your collectible progress when there are a lot of them.
Well, I mean, it tells you have 99 out of 100, so
I guess that's true, yeah.
But
maybe if there was like a map of showing the ones you've got.
Or even just like, you got, I don't know exact numbers.
Maybe all of them
30
on the
out of 30 on Melee Island.
Right.
You got 29 out of 30 on Aquila Island.
Yeah, so that way you can narrow it down to just one island.
Yeah,
that would help a lot.
That would be more convenient knowing, okay, it's on this island, there's 30, maybe I know for sure I got like these 5, I remember specifically picking them up, so it's got to be one of these 25 that I'm missing.
Yeah, which isn't as bad as 100.
Yeah,
it's a good point. Anything else besides Pokemon? Love Live?
Animal Crossing.
On a still on the update?
Yeah, I'm not playing it too often anymore. I'm kind of just logging in, digging all the stuff up, talking to all my villagers, and then logging off. There's not a lot for me to do currently because I think I have all the bugs and fish you can get this time of year.
Oh, okay, nice.
Since there's like not much stuff you can get this time of year. So there's not a lot for me to do. And then Love Live and Pokemon Go.
Awesome. I have not had as much time. I've been doing a little bit of Pokemon Go, mostly at the start of the weekend, in the weekend. But for me, the most exciting thing I did... Oh, and by the way, to nobody's surprise, I'm nowhere near as far in Pokemon Moon. I just finished, or I'm about to do like the... I think it's the grass type trial with that girl, Malo.
Yeah.
I'm about to do that one. Okay, is that grass type?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to kill that then. I got my female Salandit recently, so that should be a breeze.
Oh, hype.
Yeah. And aside from that, so my Wii U has been basically in the basement hooked up to the projector since it was released. And this weekend I finally brought it and hooked it up to the family room. Finally. And the reason I was doing that is I've been thinking about how I want to have my Switch set up. And what I'm hoping is that you'll be able to buy multiple docks, and I can have one stationed in the basement and one upstairs. But what I basically wanted to do was hook the Wii U upstairs just to get a feel for like playing games on that TV, because again, I never had. And personally, I found it to be really nice because the TV is higher resolution. It's a 1080p TV, and our projector is only 720p, and it's blown up. So as nice it is to have that big picture, it's not really as clear as I would like sometimes.
Yeah.
So for some of the better looking Switch games, I'm definitely going to want to have that 1080p display. So it was fun to test that out. I got to play Mario Kart and stuff. Just tested out a bunch of games. I also bought Rhythm Heaven Fever because I was like, what would be a fun, get a fun TV game, and I personally think Rhythm Heaven. So I've only played Megamix on 3DS before this, and after playing Fever, I definitely feel like TVs are a better fit just because the games are so based on the music that like being in a room where the music is playing is much more exciting than having it come through tiny speakers or using headphones.
Mm.
And you can really move around more since you're playing with the Wii remote. Some people have talked about this, and I get to try it out. But you can almost you can kind of swing the Wii remote around because the game doesn't use the motion controls. You just press A and B, and so you can kind of use the Wii remote like a baton while pressing A and B. Whereas you don't really want to be swinging your 3DS. That will probably break it somehow. So that was fun. So basically, just Sun and Moon, and also doing some Wii U stuff upstairs. And I'm sure I'll keep it up there through Christmas break because we have cousins coming then, and it'll be easier for everyone to play in the family room than in the dark basement. It's very nice. But it has exposed how dirty my Wii U and gamepad are, so now I have to keep them clean. In the basement, you can't see all the disgusting fingerprints and things, but now I have to keep them in a bit nicer shape. So I guess that's kind of helpful. It forces me to do a little better in that regard.
Yeah. That's why I hate glossy black things.
Oh, yeah. I'm so happy the Switch is mostly matte. I mean, well, except for the touchscreen unit, but of course you have to have that being glossy.
Yeah.
But I'm happy it looks like the Joy-Cons as well as the dock are matte. So that's fun. And the Pro Controller, even better, is transparent, it looks like. So anyway, as for the Nintendo downloads this week, it is incredibly slim pickings, but I'll run right through it anyway. On the Wii U eShop and 3DS eShop, there are some RC Maniacs titles, which, to be quite frank, they kind of sound boring. One is called Shoot the Ball, the other is Cup Critters, and I don't know. This guy just keeps putting out games. I admire the rate at which he puts them up, but I don't think any of them are terribly good. On the Wii U Virtual Console, Advanced Wars Dual Strike, that is the DS game, and it is loved by a lot of people. I've never even played a game in the series. And now on Wii, you can get the DS entry and the Game Boy Advance entry. So I may have to give one or both of them a shot soon because I enjoy strategy a lot, and for a lot of good things about this one. And on 3DS, Super Mario Maker is a retail download, which is out now. It's a full $40 thing.
Ew.
What's that?
Ew.
Yeah, ew. We'll talk briefly about that in a moment. And Hyperlight EX, which is reportedly a high-tempo shoot-'em-up with stereoscopic 3D. Pick of the week, I would probably have to say Advance Wars.
I'd say literally any title there except Mario Maker.
Yeah. So as for Mario Maker, reviews are out for this game. The game comes out, I believe it'll be out. Yeah, it'll be out by the time you're listening to this. And sort of to no one's surprise, the game is mostly fine in everywhere but the online component, where basically the limitations are that you cannot upload levels online. It sounds like you can only have one level downloaded from the internet at a time, which really sucks. And also your sorting options are very limited, so you cannot search IDs. And it sounds like you can only sort by difficulty.
And there's no amiibo costumes in the game at all, so if the Wii U stage had amiibo costumes, you can't play them.
Right. Which a great number of those stages do.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, that only limits your Super Mario Brothers stages, so that won't limit stages for the other three themes. So I guess it could be worse. I wonder why they didn't implement that. Do you think it was like some kind of system restriction? Like, it seems like the 3DS should be able to handle those. Maybe there's just so many of them? I don't know.
It's also like one of the first-party Nintendo titles in a while to have no amiibo support whatsoever.
That's the weird thing, because the amiibo, that was a huge part of the Wii U release, but they're just not here at all. You can't even get them from the event courses. There are no event courses in this version. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it has to be either a technical limitation or they wanted to keep some advantages on the Wii U version, maybe. so Wii U owners didn't feel like burned. But I almost feel like it has to be a technical limitation. Like I don't feel like they would do that.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird.
And also, the game doesn't fit the full screen, so there's this weird, ugly black border around it.
I don't know why they couldn't have just stretched that where the black border was only along one edge of the screen, but it's on all four sides at all times when you're playing. Which, that's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen for a 3DS game, especially a first-party one. It just doesn't seem terribly well... I mean, I guess the game is well optimized in every area aside from that. That just seems like a very strange... Like, I understand that it needs to have the same aspect ratio as the Wii U levels, but, can't they stretch it to not have black borders on two of the sides? I don't know. I'm not the most tech-savvy person, but it seems like something that could be fixed.
Basically, don't get this if you own a Wii U.
Yeah, if you have a 3DS and the game interests you, I would say definitely get it if you don't care too much that you can't upload online levels. Like, if that's not too much of a burn for you, then, like, go for it. Because... like, number one, this version is cheaper. Number two, it also has Mario Challenge, which I didn't mention. So what it sounds like is there's a brand new batch of 100 Nintendo-made levels. I don't know if the 10 Mario Challenge is still in addition to this.
I think 100 is. I'm not sure about 10.
Oh, okay. Yeah, 100 is still in. But this is new levels with sort of like achievements like, collect every coin or beat the level in a certain number of time, or don't touch the ground, or don't let go of right on the D-pad. So some fun challenges. So I would say if you're a Wii U, or rather if you have a 3DS but not a Wii U, but this game, it would interest you, I would say definitely go for it at $40. It seems like a fitting price. Would you agree with that?
Yeah. Maybe wait for like next year when it's on sale because they're trying to clear out 3DS games.
Yeah, and that's especially if you're really burned by the online component. Like if you really want to do stuff online and that's a big disappointment for you, yeah, this will probably drop to $30 or maybe even $20 in 6 months. We'll see. But anyway, like I said, Advance Wars has got to be our pick of the week here. So moving on, Pokemon Talk. This is actually amazingly our only Pokemon store this week. It's finally slowing down now that the games are out.
There's 2.
Oh, there's 2.
Empoleon was added to Pokken Tournament. Well, is going to be added to Pokken Tournament. If you live in Japan or have a Dave & Buster's that still has Pokken Tournament, I don't know what the date is, but there you go. I don't know why they're not adding these characters as DLC to the Wii U version.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I would. Do you think it's possible that they have a Switch version coming and has the Ultimate version? I don't know. It kind of seems weird that they wouldn't add them to the Wii U though.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, hopefully. I think that could be a good Switch port, assuming that that's not the only Pokemon game coming. I mean, we know it's probably not, because of Stars. But, yeah, I really don't have too much to say there. I fell out of Pokemon very quickly, very, very quickly.
Yeah.
But, hey, I guess for the people that still enjoy it, it's good that they're keeping the content coming for the arcade version. Just a shame about the Wii U version. And Sun and Moon, some very good news about the sales for those games, according to NOA's PR, specifically Doug Bowser, which is still the best name. They've been the fastest-selling games that Nintendo's ever launched in the Americas, and they were already the most pre-ordered games for Nintendo, but this is just another crown jewel. Honestly, I don't think this surprises anyone. I can't think of any games which would do this. I mean, obviously, if you look at Nintendo's masterpieces like Ocarina of Time, Mario Galaxy, I guess those are games which had didn't necessarily. I mean, they sold well, but the biggest thing about them was the critical acclaim. I don't know. I mean,
I think Ocarina of Time got a lot of post-release hype.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't really that game came out when I was 2, so I wasn't really
you weren't really
attention.
You weren't really in the gaming scene.
But just from what I've seen, a lot of the talk about the game seems to have come more post-launch than continuing from pre-launch.
Mm-hmm. Right. So like I said, this doesn't surprise anyone, I think. In addition to this figure, GameStop has said that it was the third most wanted holiday title. And this is, again, among big games like, Call of Duty, Battlefield, I don't know, Madden, Minecraft.
Is Fractured Butthole coming out this holiday?
I don't think so. I think that's next year.
Oh, okay. Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, Watch Dogs 2. Dishonored, I guess. But yeah, there are a lot of games. Certainly not Skylanders. A lot of games it was competing with, so that seems like a very impressive stat. And based on this, I can certainly see why Nintendo wants to keep the 3DS momentum going through 2017 despite the Switch launch. Because not only will it sort of act as like their legs if the Switch doesn't do too well right away, I definitely think the Switch will do well by holiday. How well at launch, I don't know. It's going to come down to things like price and launch titles. But I feel like the 3DS can not only support a potentially rough Switch launch, but also just bring in so many profits. Like the 3DS has been selling so well this year, and these games have been selling so well, and I expect Mario Maker to sell really well for Christmas, despite some good reviews, just for people that don't have a Wii U, right? So I can definitely see why they want to carry the momentum. This actually makes me think. Let's briefly think ahead to the future of 3DS here. So games on the horizon, that Mario Sports Collection thing,
Yoshi,
yep, Ever Oasis, and there's one more, Pikmin. And I can't think of anything else. There's like that Tank 3DS game, but I don't really count that. So that's 4. I guess I would consider those all to be all pretty major first-party titles. And those all came out of the recent 3DS Direct. Do you think any more major 3DS games will be announced?
I don't really think so, unless the Switch ends up doing really poorly.
Mm-hmm.
Just because they can kind of spread these out throughout the year. And be like, see, we're still supporting the 3DS. We have a game each quarter.
Yeah.
And then, but still have focus on the Switch from most of their developers. Because they can't make the Switch succeed if they're still releasing all their big stuff on 3DS. Aside from like a Pokemon game.
Especially in terms of like IP. Like if you look at Pikmin, that's not a huge IP, so it kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
Mario Sports, I have mixed feelings about. At least it's not like if they were to release a main series Mario game on 3DS, that would be bad. That doesn't seem realistic. But Mario Sports makes sense. A port of a Wii U game, Yoshi, makes sense. What else? What's the other one? Ever Oasis has like a new IP and sort of like a niche title. So yeah, all the games there make sense. So as long as they don't bring more like main series Mario, Zelda, or Pokemon, I guess they're fine. You know.
Mm-hmm.
If anything, I mean, I've seen some rumblings online of people just predicting, I mean, maybe a couple more 3DS ports. Like maybe we could see Tropical Freeze, maybe Treasure Tracker. I don't know. Just possibilities.
Pokken.
Ooh, that I mean, I don't know. But then again, like
it wouldn't run at all.
Yeah. What's interesting is a while ago I was thinking, I mean, oh no, these Wii U games are never going to get 3DS ports, but then these 2 major Wii U games are getting 3DS ports. But then again, I guess Mario Maker is the most intensive game in the world. But yeah, Pokken, they would really have to simplify that one.
It would look like garbage and probably run like garbage.
Oh yeah, and it would be choppy and just unpleasant for everyone.
Splatoon definitely needs a 3DS port.
The reason I feel like Captain Toad could happen is it's more like slow-paced and simple geometry. Obviously, it would look nowhere near as good, but hey, you could have all the same controls and features, and hopefully the Toad Amiibo stuff as well, maybe even new levels. See, I don't think anyone would mind those ports, and I don't think Wii U owners would be too burned over those at this point, with how close Switch is. Anyway, so moving on. If you're a regular of the show, you probably know that my Nintendo is not my favorite service in the world. But I feel like I might as well talk about the update it received today. So it received a couple new things. First of all, a visual overhaul, and in my opinion, it looks a lot nicer now on desktop and mobile, which can never hurt. That's not a big deal, really. But additionally, it seems they've sort of merged the Platinum coins and My Nintendo coins. And some are predicting that this is just happening because, hey, Mario Run's coming out soon, and that game will probably have Platinum coin stuff as well. So I guess having 4 coin banks would be very convoluted on the main screen. If you go into like your coin details, it still shows the Miitomo coins as separate, but that's one nice tweak. Additionally, there's a new feature called Nintendo Accounts for Kids, which seems to be like a safer version of the account, maybe with limited limited access to internet content, but kids can earn points through apps. Parents can manage purchases and things like that. It looks like accounts can be created for children. It looks like they want this for children under the age of 13, which seems like that's been their usual cutoff for kids, which I guess kind of makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's always nice to have features like these for parents, but it doesn't really affect us too much personally. What I will say is that previously they just had your me standing around on the home screen. What I like is they've added a ton of new cute animations for him to do. It's like he can be playing an NES or Super Nintendo. You can see what game he's playing. Currently, my me is painting on an easel, and when you click him, you see he's painted a very sloppy version of the My Nintendo logo. So a lot of the touches are very nice. Additionally, new rewards are here for the Zelda 30th anniversary, and some of them are a little kind of funny, a little bit pathetic in my opinion. Oh, also, just one thing I want to mention, there's now a collect all points button, so you don't have to click each individual one, which is very nice. Anyway, so the new Zelda, I'm going to go through these. Now, the only one I don't know whether or not it's new is there's a discount on A Link to the Past on 3DS and one on Wii U.
Woo, discounts.
Woo, exciting. Yeah, they're 240 coins for 30% off. As someone who has over 2,500 platinum coins, I certainly would have minded spending 2,000 of them to get a free version of the game, but no, we can't give away 20-year-old games for free. That would be disgraceful. The themes, new Zelda theme actually looks really nice, and apparently it has very good music. I think it's like the Fairy Fountain theme from the Symphony of the Goddesses, and that's 300 platinum coins. I would say that's definitely worth investing in if you like Zelda. But for me, the very funny thing, so the Symphony of the Goddess thing from the Zelda 25th anniversary is back. You can buy 3D versions of those songs. Or the live recordings for 100 coins each, which is hilarious to me, because not only can you view those online in HD for free, like the only benefit is that you're getting 3D and you can take them on the go, but also these used to be part of the Nintendo Video app in 3D, and that was free. So I just think it's hilarious that they're shortchanging people. Like they needed something. It's like, oh, what can we possibly add? Oh, maybe we can add a Link's Awakening for free for 100 gold coins. Oh, nope. Let's add these 5-year-old videos from the 25th anniversary. I'm sure they just removed the 5 seconds at the beginning, which says 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
I would love to download one just to check that. But so not very meaningful Zelda rewards, but some pretty meaningful changes to the look and feel of the site. I would imagine in preparation for the Switch launch, which will surely have hopefully will have some deep mind Nintendo integration. It sounds like that's what they want. Again, I think we both have our fingers crossed for in-game achievements getting new platinum coins.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it for my Nintendo. And yeah, it's kind of interesting, but not too interesting, really. And so as for Skylanders, we had mentioned this before, but it's not looking too good for that series. Connor, I'll let you talk about Liam Robertson's report.
So Dr. Cupcakes has come out and said that Skylanders 2017 has been canceled, and Activision is currently looking into what they want to do for the rest of the series, or rest of time, basically, with this series. The TV show, actually, it's Netflix, so I guess online show, was renewed for, I believe, seasons 2 and 3, or maybe it was just 2.
I thought it was just 2, but I could be wrong.
But who knows? They could cancel that now or something. And it looks like Skylanders might be dying, which some people seem really happy about. Others don't care. I actually haven't seen anyone sad. Right.
I mean, I think we can definitely weigh in here. So, and first of all, it sounds like sales for both games and figures are down. Though we've yet to hit Christmas, so I would hope that Activision would at least wait for Christmas to see how the newest title performs then, because again, that can obviously be a big time for games, especially for kids.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, so I personally think the biggest negative here would be if that series gets canceled, the amount of people who could lose their jobs at Toys for Bob, which, that's always bad. But hopefully, if that is the case, they're able to find jobs in the industry quickly. Probably not Toys to Life, because that seems to be dying. And also, we can briefly discuss what this means for Toy Life as a whole, and specifically Amiibo, because we're an Amiibo podcast, right? So this podcast, that was one of our first things we were looking at and thinking about making our show all about, but we eventually decided, we're just going to broaden out to, or sort of expand to Nintendo as a whole. But now that Disney Infinity is out of the game, and Skylanders, again, no confirmation yet, but possibly out of the game, that would mean the only two big guys left standing are LEGO Dimensions and Amiibo. I think I'm forgetting anyone, right? I'm sure maybe there's some minor stuff, but... Yeah, so those would be the only two big ones left. Hopefully LEGO Dimensions performs really well because they've got some big stuff coming. They've got Sonic. They've got a ton of new playsets, which...
Well, one advantage LEGO Dimensions has as well is seemingly they're not releasing a sequel. They're just going to keep updating the base game.
Mm-hmm.
So what Disney said they were going to do, but then
didn't. Yep.
So I think people look at that and think, well, this game, like, I think it's $90.
Yeah, so it's a bit of a steeper entry cost, but it's gonna last.
Yeah, Skylanders lasted a year, and then you needed to buy a new one to work with the new toys.
Yeah,
LEGO Dimensions is almost 2 years, I think.
I think so. And so even if it refreshes every maybe like 3 or 4 years, that's much better than an annual deal,
Yeah. And plus the figures work is just regular Lego.
Right.
So if you are a fan of Lego or have a lot of Lego or play with Lego or something, you can have like Scooby-Doo or Sonic in your Lego sets now. Well,
right.
Scooby-Doo
like, I don't think there's
probably had Lego before.
Yeah, but I don't think Sonic has ever had Lego. Or, it's cool. It opens new opportunities for Lego collectors. And another strength, beyond that, but it has the Lego brand power, right? Which is something which has been alive for much longer than like the Skylanders. But then again, you could say the same about Disney, and look how that went. Mm-hmm. So, kind of a tough call. Hopefully, it performs well this holiday season. We know Amiibo sales are down, but I'm expecting the Zelda series to do quite well, which is releasing basically as you're listening to this. And hopefully, the Switch launch will be able to reinvigorate some of that. It's rumored that the Switch will launch alongside a Smash 4 port and the Cloud, Corn, and Bayonetta amiibo. So again, that could potentially reinvigorate sales, but only time will tell,
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so again, hopefully, a large number of jobs are not lost there, but we'll have to wait and see if there's any official word from Activision anytime soon. Moving on, this is some, I would actually call it positive news. When I first read it, I was kind of upset, but I was like, wait, this is actually probably very good for those who are getting a Switch anyway. So Stardew Valley, which is sort of like a Farmville type game, which I believe released this year for PC.
Say Harvest Moon.
Oh, what did I say?
Farmville.
Oh, no, God, I did not mean that. I'm so sorry. That is an insult to Stardew Valley. Harvest Moon inspired. I believe it released either this year or last year for PC, and that game has gotten a lot of love. Now, it was announced to be coming to PlayStation 4, Xbox One, and the Wii U. The Xbox One and PS4 versions are still on track for this month, but the Wii U version was actually canceled in favor of a Switch version. Now, the reason I'm glad about this is because those who have played Stardew Valley on PC and are fans say they feel the game would be very well suited for a portable entry. So, with the Switch being a hybrid and all, that kind of goes very well. And I was personally planning on picking up the Wii U version. Again, I haven't played on PC, but I've heard a lot of good things. And I've actually never played a Harvest Moon, but I guess I enjoy farming in Minecraft, so there's that. So I was definitely going to give that a shot on Wii U, and now I'm even more likely to buy it on Switch because of that portable factor. I feel like that mentality of, oh, hey, it can be played on the go too, will extend to a lot of indie games on Switch and just games in general. So I'm looking forward to that.
I think just in general, this is a good idea because why waste a bunch of time and money developing for a dead console?
Right.
Especially since we know Wii U isn't the easiest thing to port to.
That too, because it's older architecture.
Even using supported engines like Unity, and I believe Stardew Valley is a custom engine.
That complicates things even further.
Yeah, so hopefully it's easier to port stuff onto Switch. And it's successful and doesn't hit the what's the saying? Hit the brakes.
I guess that works.
The brakes quickly.
Hit the brakes, fam. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to this and hopefully other ports on Switch. Another port which has been teased for the Switch is The Binding of Isaac, which again, it's a very time-consuming game for one very well suited for portable play. They said that The Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus was coming to, I think it was like PS4, Xbox One. They said not 3DS, Wii U, or Vita, but one other system. And unless they mean Scorpio, which I kind of doubt because that's not coming for like at least another year.
Android and iOS.
Oh God. Oh, that could actually happen because the version of that game is in development for iOS, I think. But I feel like they would have just gone ahead and said iOS then. I don't know.
Samsung TVs.
No.
It's going to be the first game you can play with your remote control.
Now I'm scared that it's not going to be Switch. But regardless, so that game's coming, or rather Stardew Valley is coming. Hopefully Isaac is coming. There are hopes that Bloodstained, which is the sort of Castlevania Kickstarter spiritual successor, will come to Switch as well. That's, again, currently slated for Wii U. I'm trying to think of which other games. Yooka-Laylee is a big one.
Hopefully Mighty Number 9.
Yuck. And honestly, with Yooka-Laylee, I think that game will do the best on the Wii U anyway, because what's interesting is that's, aside from Shovel Knight, that's the first major multi-platform indie game I can think of where the Wii U version is like the primary version that's being developed, you know? And like the other versions are being handled by other teams.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like they have faith in the Wii U audience and it will do well there, but I feel like, you know, it could do very well on Switch too. So hopefully it comes to maybe Switch and Wii U, or I mean, that game, I doubt the Wii U version will be canceled. In fact, I can almost guarantee it won't be because of how much focus they're putting into that being the main version. But hopefully it also gets ported to Switch. Whereas Isaac, yeah, I can see coming to Switch.
I think assuming the game's successful, which, I mean, with how the Kickstarter went, it probably will be.
Yeah.
I think it will get one down the road at some point.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully.
Because why not?
Right. Anyway, before we get to our last major topic, which is about Universal, I just want to mention a couple things. So first, the Game Awards will have already happened by the time you're listening to this. We know we will see new footage for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We don't know whether that'll be a trailer or a live demo, but hey, stay tuned. I guess we'll report on it next time. And the first Nintendo Switch private event has been confirmed to be happening in New York City on January 13th, which is the day after the live stream from, I think it's Tokyo or somewhere in Japan anyway.
I believe Europe also confirmed a couple events.
Yeah, it sounded like invitations had gone out. It sounded like there was going to be a Paris event and also maybe like an England event. So that's exciting. Again, this definitely sounds like they're fulfilling on the promise of this being a very big global thing, all happening sort of around the same date. So exciting. Anyway, last thing, which for me is just a big deal, but I don't want to be let down, so I want to be kind of cautiously optimistic. But sort of we got some new details-ish, mostly just doing promotion, for the Universal Nintendo collaboration. So I think this had already been stated, but again, it's been reiterated that it is coming to all three of Universal's parks in Osaka, Japan, Orlando, and Hollywood. And I'm very happy about this. I was concerned that it was at first going to be like Japan only, and even if it comes to US like a couple of years later, I'm still fine with that. Honestly, I'll probably hold out just because it'll be much cheaper for me to go to Florida than Japan. But we got some new details. It turns out those rumors from, I think, Reddit of someone seeing Miyamoto there was true, because he filmed a promo there. And he was talking, I forget the dude's name, but like one of the creative directors at Universal. And they're talking about, I mean, it kind of felt like generic PR speak, but hey, it was fun to hear anyway. Like bringing our worlds to life for all ages. And the one thing I was glad to hear is that they confirmed multiple attractions, restaurants, and shops. I was kind of afraid it was going to be on a smaller scale, but hey, it sounds like they're trying to get a decent sized operation here.
I also found it interesting how it seems the same video went to everyone because Miyamoto was speaking Japanese and had English subtitles, and then the Universal guy was speaking English and had Japanese subtitles.
Yeah, so. I can't remember the last time a Nintendo of America videos had Japanese subtitles, if ever. But hey, whatever. Yeah, that was kind of strange. But yeah, not really anything we didn't know before. I was just glad to see reiterating that it's coming to Orlando. My favorite thing, honestly, was seeing the Mario props in the back. They look so good. Seeing the spinning coin looked great. they had props from like a snow area in Mario. I think there was like a snow-covered question mark block or something. I'm just so excited to be able to see that stuff in person. Of course, Nintendo has some experience with building sets like that for public events in E3, but to have it in one place for like permanently is just going to be so fun for me. Do you think you're going to attempt to make a trip to one of these at one point?
When are these opening? 2018?
We don't know, unfortunately.
I could have sworn I heard a date. I don't know.
Yeah, hopefully it's like obviously it's certainly an expensive trip for anyone.
Probably the one this seems really weird, but the one I'd probably be most likely to go to is Osaka.
Right.
Because I don't like LA. I'm just gonna be honest here. I hate LA. It's way too humid and hot, and I hate hot.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Orlando, I haven't been, but I'm assuming it's also really hot because it's like southern, close to border.
Absolutely.
So I actually want to go to Japan.
Right. So for you, that's like the perfect setup.
Yeah. So Osaka, there's other stuff to do there anyway that I'm interested in. Like if I went to LA or Orlando, like there's still Disneyland/World that I could go to. But Tokyo has Disneyland as well, and there's other stuff in Japan. So probably I want to eventually go, but I doubt like I'll go opening day or something.
Right. Yeah, this is exciting. Sort of discussing which attractions would be there. We've already done that before, and we can elaborate more on that later, but now's not the time. What I do wonder is how much stuff will be exclusive, like region locked. I wonder if there will be any major attractions which will differ, or if they'll all have like the same major attractions, but differences will relate to like restaurants and shops and things. That'll be interesting to see.
The U.S. ones will only have Star Tropics exclusive stuff, and then the
Japan will have other stuff.
The Japanese will have Earthbound exclusive.
Yeah. That'll be interesting. In terms of honestly, restaurants are one of the parts I'm the most excited for. The rides are fun, but the restaurants you can spend more time in and more money. In terms of restaurants, again, a lot of these will probably not happen just because they're more niche, but like I would hope for like an Animal Crossing like Brewster Cafe.
No, I could see that.
Of course, there was like because Animal Crossing has been becoming more popular, so I would hope. I mean, I'm not a coffee drinker, but I would drink coffee just for that. Maybe some kind of Kirby Cafe like they had in Japan. I don't know. I feel like they wouldn't bring that back, but that's an idea they've already established. So I feel like it could be
a Pokemon Center. I don't know.
Oh, that'd be cool.
But
yeah, I mean, and they do have like the cafe in Sun and Moon.
Yeah.
Now, what I wonder is how much the Pokemon company is going to allow here. Like, are they going to allow any of their stuff? What do you think?
Nintendo just be like, veto.
Wrong.
We own you.
Yeah.
Want to keep your job?
Yeah. But I definitely think Pokemon stuff there would be a huge driving force, especially considering how relevant that's been this year. But obviously this is going to be at least like 3 or 4 years out, so who knows how much will have changed by then. Maybe it'll line up with the Pikachu movie. Yeah, Danny
DeVito out there in LA, the LA location to promote it.
He needs to be in a Pikachu costume in the park. So it's exciting. They've said we're going to hear more news soon. I wonder when we're going to get details about attractions. Hopefully that's one of the first major pieces. I don't really follow amusement park news, so I don't know how early they started announcing attractions for the Harry Potter stuff in Universal. But going off the quality of that area, I certainly have high hopes for Nintendo.
From what I heard, like I also don't follow amusement park news, and I'm not the biggest Harry Potter person either. But from what I heard, I think they had like the place laid out and what rides were and restaurants and menus and stuff publicly like 3 or 4 months beforehand, and they were announcing rides and showing stuff off a year or something ahead.
Oh, so you think they've already got a lot of that pretty much all planned out already?
Yeah, I think I think Harry Potter, they kind of slowly
announced. Oh, wait, are you saying for Harry Potter or for Nintendo?
I'm talking about how they did it with Harry Potter.
Okay, now that's fine. Okay, I thought you were talking about with the Nintendo. Like, how would they already How would we already know that? Do you have insider info?
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
that's for Harry Potter. Okay.
Yeah, my dad works for Universal Studios.
Oh,
So,
sweet.
yeah, so he has all the juicy deets.
Ooh, maybe we can get some scoops. I'm excited now. All right, sweet. But yeah, that's pretty much it for that. And our poll this week, before we get into that, I'll let Connor announce last week's poll results.
So last week we asked, how do you feel about all these potential Switch ports? And then we got confirmation of an actual Switch port. But 24 votes, 67% are happy, 29% don't care, and 4% are salty. I think that would be one person salty. So rest in peace, you. I think we said last week, but I'm in the don't care camp.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of I'm happy about it. Just like not really from a personal perspective. Like I'll buy some of the ports, but certainly not all of them. Like I can't see myself buying Mario Maker, but I'll buy like Splatoon. I mean, it might be a pack-in, but I'll buy Splatoon and Smash. Actually, no, I'll buy Splatoon and Mario Kart. Don't know about Smash. But I personally think it's smart business-wise, but I'm not hyper excited. But I put, it's a good thing just because of the potential for sales and bringing new players on board. We'll see how that goes.
I just hope it's not like the PS4 where there's 2 games worth owning and then the rest are all ports.
Yeah, I mean, I'm predicting at least that most, if not all, of the ports are in year 1, so that after that it's just new stuff.
Hopefully.
I mean, it's certainly, say what you will about the PS4's ludicrous number of ports, but it certainly worked out well for them, sales-wise. I don't know how much those ports necessarily contributed to system sales, but yeah, I don't know how much was marketing or how much was them saying greatness awaits or whatever, or how much of it was actually those ports. I mean, I know a lot of them, like on The Last of Us, a lot of for this generation, a lot of Xbox owners switched to PS4, so that helped them get on board, and obviously a ton of people didn't own a Wii U, so this would help them get on board, but we'll have to wait and see, of course.
Yeah, I don't mind ports. It's just how the PS4, like Uncharted and Infamous, are the only exclusives so far that I'm really into. Like Until Dawn was cool, but not worth $60. Not even gonna bother mentioning what was that game? First Order 1886.
Oh god, yeah, that was
so.
That was something.
I think Bloodborne also, that's not my type of game, but that was fairly well liked. But like most of the PlayStation 4 games are ports, and I owned a PS3. So.
Right. Yeah, and not even in the first year, but recently with things like the Nathan Drake collection or something.
Yeah, the Nathan Drake collection.
So the ports have not slowed down.
And then they have all these games like Horizon Zero Dawn's supposed to come out in February, but it's been delayed how many times?
Yeah.
The Last Guardian's about to come out. I don't think it's going to get delayed again.
No. I mean, it's coming out like this week. It can't get delayed.
Yeah.
Unless it's Rayman Legends.
And like there's a bunch of games coming up, but like most of them are like coming soon with absolutely no indication of when they're coming. Yeah, greatness certainly awaits. When's it going to come, though?
Yeah.
So I don't mind ports. I just hope Nintendo doesn't have that issue. I don't think they will.
It should be fine. Hopefully they've kind of got their stuff together. Hopefully I'm sure they have a plan for this launch, especially considering the Wii U, they sort of fumbled that one. But anyway, this week's poll, Universal. So sort of relating to what we were talking about, and it is, will you try to go to the Universal parks? So even if you aren't sure if you'll be able to make it, you can answer yes. But if you just aren't interested, I guess it's sort of based on your interest. So will you try to be going to the parks, yes or no? And simple as that. That'll be up soon. And let us know. I'm personally yes, and it sounds like Connor hopefully will be able to eventually get to the Japan location if circumstances allow. Anyway, pluggities.
So I just, literally just before we started recording this, posted my Sun and Moon review. So there you go. You have the exact time we started recording. Well, I think it was like an hour beforehand, but whatever. That's a long review. I think it's one of my longest. It's almost 2,000 words. It's pretty hype. You should go read it. Also, Arms, even though he's taking a break from the internet, he uploaded 2 videos, a white new 3DS unboxing, that Black Friday thing that we convinced him not to get last week, and then he got it anyway. And then a red with Pikachu statue, I think is what it's called. I don't know. I didn't watch that one.
No.
Also, I mentioned Arms is taking a break from the internet. We should probably mention this. Arms is kind of going to inconsistently be on Unleashed for probably the rest of the year. I think he's going to be back in January, but for December, he might be on. He said to schedule times that work for me and Noah, and if they happen to work for him, he'll be on. But other than that, it'll just be us two. Hopefully us two, and not we'll have to get one of us and then a guest or something.
Right.
But I think we should be good. Next week's my last week of classes, so after that I'll be free a lot more. So it will be easier for us to record. It's going to be
interesting, but we can work with it, and we'll get through.
We might have to skip the week of the 19th, though, because Christmas stuff.
Oh, yeah. No, that's going to be
figure it out then.
Challenging. Also, I have a massive presentation the next day, so we'll see. Anyway, so that's it for plugs, right?
Oh, also, he's on the Last Witch, episode 9.
Okay. So anyway, be sure to contribute to us on Patreon if you want. You can find us on there. If you pledge $1 a month, you get exclusive access to content and some early access. You get exclusive access to our Blaze Kick podcast, which we just rebooted, I think. You get early access to this podcast and our PlayStation Point podcast and our Xbox podcast with BO. And I believe that's... Or, you get to enhance your Blaze Kick experience on the podcast front. Also, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, which you may be listening to this on. If not, that's youtube.com/BlazeKickMedia. Subscribe on iTunes and Google Play Music. Leave a rating. You can follow us on Twitter. I'm at Dashy007.
I'm at 331.
You can find the podcast at Nin Unleashed, and you can find the site at BlazeKick Tweet. Be sure to share this episode on Twitter or Facebook or wherever you like to share things. And last but not least, be sure to visit our site, blazekick.com. That is our hub for content.
Hype.
It's our hype hub.
Hype.
Anyway, that's it. I'm very excited for Zelda. About to watch that. I told myself I wouldn't, but I might cave in just because it's Zelda, baby. First new footage in 6 months. Actually, not really, but regardless, I'm excited. And I guess that's it for now, and we will see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Hype.